Hello, America. Dan 2.0 here. This is the second installment of the third phase. So we have the first two phases, what I went through, and I'll explain to you a little bit about what we have to do in 1 day of somebody that's going through this healing process in our third and final step of healing our children. Simultaneously, after you get the diet, about a week into this diet, you start feeling like really good. I'm talking really good, especially if you have IVs and you're getting hydrated. It's amazing. So when I came into this healing program, obviously I was coming off the street. My son was 3 months old, and I would have done anything in the world to heal myself because I knew I was just going in and out of jail, and I knew I suffered from all kinds of demons that I needed to kill, and I thought that the answer was in Mexico. So yeah, they were right. I was right. So inside this healing center, one of the important things during the day is that you have to do an hour of cardio. So if you're a little bit overweight, you start on the bike. But the key point is here that there's three things that have to happen because we got to get the body into this super healthy state to heal them, and the be-all end-all of it. So you got to do like 30 minutes of cardio a day. I've been to fire camp before, so coming down here, it's like when they say go exercise, I'm like, I'm hiked up burning mountains with a chainsaw on my shoulder. This ain't nothing. 30 minutes of cardio. Once you've been through Eastmax or once you've been through the fire camp program, it's a joke, 30 minutes, I can push myself. I've learned all that. I've been pushed to my limit, guided past it by the fire department and the sheriff's department. This is nothing for people that have been through this. One thing to understand is that if someone has already been through fire camp and keeps going back to jail, which there's hundreds and thousands of them in the LA County jail system, in prison, you can skip the whole step about the fire camp, because once you have became a firefighter and you've hiked up burning mountains with chainsaws on your shoulder, or Pulaski, or a McLeod, or any part of the hook, line, order of a fire crew, and you fought fires, that is always, it's imprinted in your brain. You can just turn it on at any given time, as long as you're not super doped up. And even if you are doped up, they get you on this diet for about a week. You wake up, it's just like going to jail. Boom, you're there. You're like hour of cardio. So what you're trying to do is speed up your metabolism. When you speed up your metabolism, that amazing bioreactor that's in there is now churning because it needs more energy. And that's the magic there. I mean, they said that you had to do 30 minutes of cardio a day, but what I started doing was waking up a little earlier and doing core workouts and stuff, because I felt so good after they changed my diet. After a week or two, I was like, I feel amazing. And this is like me fresh off of heroin and meth within like a week and a half. Now, mind you, since I came straight from the street, they were giving me little bits of oxycodone, like a slight amount, slight dose, not much, and a little bit of benzodiazepine injections. Just a slight enough to keep the withdrawals away, because at the be-all, end-all of this end of this, they're going to give you some Jesus Take the Wheel powder, and all that's just going to go out the window. You'll be like, what? Heroin addict? Recovery? What? So in this particular case, since I came straight from the street and I just didn't go through fire camp and the writing thing just before that, they had to do that. But we won't have to do that in what I'm proposing, because they've already just came from fire camp and doing the writing. So the whole withdrawal thing is not even on the table. We're just trying to heal them. But we just have to keep the exercise going. So a little bit of core workouts. You can work out your abs and your legs every single day. You learn this in fire camp. You're like, those two muscle groups, it's great to do a 15-minute ab workout every day. It's great to do legs every day. It's not like your upper body and other muscles where you have to, have a leg day, have an arm day, have a different, muscle group that you're targeting. These muscles are made for working out on a daily basis. The guy that ran the program was like, wow, dude, like most people come here, and I'm just like, dude, I used to hike up burning mountains with a chainsaw on my shoulder. This is nothing. So what I would do is get on the bike, and I was really trying to heal myself. This was my life's mission. I had a 3-year-old son. I've been in and out of prison, jail, and I knew I had demons, and so I'm down here for business. I'm down here to do this. This is a very important part of it. Now, if you're fresh out, if we were doing this in sequence, they had just fresh out of fire camp. These dudes are in amazing shape. These dudes are in the best shape of their life. They'll be like, what? That's it? No problem. So we just have to keep that going. Keep that exercise going. Because that's what's going to make their bioreactor, their microbiome, start breaking down anything that comes in there. Because that's what we're trying to heal. You heal the microbiome, you heal the body. Okay? So you push yourself, and we got to understand 3 things about this process. Is that we need to detoxify these people. Or we got to get them into the best possible shape because what we're going to do at the very end is going to lithographically put a new operating system into their brain. And it's pretty intense. And they need to be in amazing shape to do it. Mind, body, spirit, everything. So what we have to do is keep them in good shape. So that exercise has to keep up. These guys will have no problem doing it. If they've been to fire camp before, or if they just went through that process of the same type of training, yeah, it's nothing. They will keep that exercise up. They'll be drenched in sweat. And so that has to be a daily practice. Every day, 60 minutes of cardio. Cardiovascular, just get that metabolism moving, get that microbiome crunching any food. And then the only food that you're going to feed it is obviously what we discussed in the other video about the diet. These 2 things together on a daily basis in a controlled environment, if we did this in sequence, then we won't have any problem with it. And so there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people that have been through this program already. And, if we wanted to save some time, they're the low-hanging fruit of the incarcerated world. You've been to fire camp before? You've been to fire camp before? Come on. You can just put them right into the writing thing, send them into this program, and when they go into the program and you tell them they have to exercise for 30 days, they'll just turn on their Firefighter in their brain and they'll be like, this is nothing, dude. You have no idea what I've been through. It's like nothing. That's what I did. But the people that haven't been through that type of training, if they were coming fresh out of it and they already went through the writing afterwards and now they're there, it's fresh in their mind. They're like, this is nothing. 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 So that's pretty much it with that. There has to be exercise. We're going to talk about other things. So this would be their day would be pretty much full of different activities. We're going to talk about the different parts of their day, but sometime in the morning, so it's good to get your metabolism going in the morning. Preferably before you eat your first meal. So before we would give them the oatmeal, the very first thing in the morning is we would speed up their metabolism with the cardio, the water. They would drink the fulvic acid, drink the seeds with some honey, start scrubbing out that. Then they go to the cardio and get that metabolism running. After the cardio, then we give them their little bit of oatmeal, a little bit of honey, a little bit of bananas or whatever in the oatmeal. Not going to be a heavy meal, not a huge bowl. Their candida is going to be cranking. They're going to want more, but, got to starve that candida. So it's not going to be easy, but you got to do it. And other than that, they'll be drinking the juices, alkalining their diet. This is a very powerful thing to have together. Exercise, early morning, bam. Okay, so that's pretty much it with the exercise that's needed. So there has to be 60 minutes of cardio in the morning. Bike, whatever. I mean, if we were doing this at Eastmax at Pitches Detention Center, we could just take them hiking or take them down to the track and they'll just run around the track. Whatever. Keep it cheap. We don't got to buy a bunch of expensive exercise equipment for them or any of that. They're already tuned for it. So, I'm trying to keep this as affordable as possible because I know that a lot of people in America are struggling. And so when I'm proposing all this, they'll be like, what is this, some luxury rehab? No, dude, we can figure things out. We have to, because if we don't, it's going to be all bad because, we're sitting on a huge trauma bomb. And I don't know if you guys noticed lately, but it looks like our economy is going to go through some very, very tough times. Grandma and Grandpa, what's going to happen if we go through the same thing you guys went through in the Depression? Okay. They say that all the people now are going to rob and steal everything. Yeah, if we go through what they went through. They looked for work and farmed vegetables and stuff, but they didn't have the same type of problems we had. They didn't have the dopamine imbalance from this. They weren't brainwashed from this. They didn't have as bad a candida. They didn't have all the childhood trauma. There was a lot more Luke Nichols then. So, if we don't fix this quick, before the economy completely collapses and we go through another Great Depression, it's kind of, I would think that America's going to look like Mad Max. That's what I think. So, the hour is late, America, so we need to do this quick. I've got a plan to get I got some plans, but you just got to stay tuned and figure out exactly how we're going to do this. But again, this is just discussing the exercise requirements, the cardio requirements in the morning of this final stage controlled environment for healing our traumatized children that are currently incarcerated and committing crimes and stuff like this. That's it for that. They'll be tuned for it, I promise. Once they go through the original programming of the beautiful job that the fire department and that the sheriff department is doing at East Max with training, it'll be no problem. Okay, until next time, Daniel 2.0, and you can like and subscribe if you want, but I would actually prefer a prayer. But if you want to like and subscribe, you can do that. But thank you. Till next time.